Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Golden Domers Report. Today's episode will be a somber one as we are going to recap the Louisville football game. Apparently, there was a football game in Louisville to be played, and so JR not happy with South Bend Sammy. We will get into that on this week's episode of the Golden Domers Report.
By Samarja, inside the 20, inside the 10, he's going in! Notre Dame has scored!
Go! You will be that driving force to motivate those coaches and those players to beat Southern Cal!
It's a game of who's going to flinch first. We know that isn't going to be Notre Dame.
Welcome back, everybody. I'm Landen Trailer, joined by Logan Trailer and John Richards. Notre Dame gets outplayed and outcoached and loses 33-20 at Louisville, ultimately ending their season. Before I open the panel to JR and Logan, because these two have been going back and forth for a while, I can already tell that these two are going to go back and forth. I want to say Sam Hartman. He was 22 of 38, 254 yards, 2 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, and he lost a fumble. 44 rushing yards for Notre Dame as well. 44 rushing yards as a team. I mean, that just cannot happen if you're Notre Dame. That's just unheard of. The O-line is a dumpster fire right now. It's an absolute grease fire. Jared Parker has ruined this team. 7 touchdowns in 3 games. 7 touchdowns in 3 games with a supposed premier quarterback that we're supposed to have. We got nothing from the wide receivers that on Saturday night. Absolutely nothing. Another no-show from our wide receivers core. The defense put us in a position to win. The offense could not back them up. They could not give them. It's like baseball. You need run support for your pitching. They got no run support. They got no scoring from their offense, which is pathetic. The offense is just simply bad. There was a lack of preparation in this ball game as well. Marcus Freeman needs to be held accountable for that. I mean, there was no chance that we were prepared for that game. Marcus Freeman's youth showed again, I think. 4th and 11 from your own 18-yard line, and you go for it with 10 minutes left in the game, with all 3 timeouts left, and you're only down by 14 at that point? I don't know, man. That just doesn't seem like a good decision to me. We were outgained in that game overall, 330-298. We gave up 145 yards to Jack Plummer, the old Purdue man, old Purdue Pete. And we had 5 turnovers. 5 turnovers in the ball game. No blocking. We had 1.6 yards per carry in that ball game as well. And it was just an absolute disaster, meltdown, collapse. And we got dominated, and it showed. The final score was 33-20. This was a 30-13 game at one point. So with that, I'm going to open it up to JR and Logan. I'll start with JR, and then we'll move to Logan.
Well, you guys unfortunately were there and had a front row seat to most of it. I had to listen to Testator scream and yell all night in favor of Louisville and his partner, who I thought was Jesse Palmer, but it was Jordan somebody or other. I'm shocked in the lack of everything from the offensive side of the ball, the coaching side, and I'm not shocked at how the game started to unfold and play. But at halftime, it was, what was the score at half? 7-7?
7-7.
7-7. Okay, so here's my deeper concern with all of this, and I've got a litany of notes here that I can get into, but my main gripe, and this is, again, I said this was a mentality game, an intangible game. Well, at the end of the first half, they gift wrap to you a missed field goal. Mm-hmm. So we were fortunate to be even in a 7-7 game at that point. We should have been losing, even worse than the game was already being played out. But it was 7-7. They gave us a little help.
Yeah.
They were getting the ball coming out of half. In our D, what did they do? They gave us the ball right back the very first play in excellent field position. So the table was set. And our mentality at that point had to be like, boom, here it is. And we completely wilted and folded like a cheap suit from there on out. And I got no problem with how, the defense, they've been doing this for 11 quarters. They got to a point where they couldn't, they were out there for so long. They've spent so much. It's no wonder their back broke.
Yeah.
I got no problem with the defense that game. I got no problem with the special teams. Well, we had some nice field goals from Schrader. That was encouraging, but Freeman let us down. Parker let us down. Rookie, rookie offensive coordinator, second-year head coach at Notre Dame. We've discussed whether that was a red flag, a problem going into his hiring. Indiana just blanket hired Tom Allen. They just went right to it. Indiana ND just went straight to Freeman. They went right to it. And this is what you get now, unfortunately, in these situations. Now, I'm not shocked at how that game was starting to play out. I'm really shocked that we folded, we wilted, and I am shocked at the outcome because I thought that switch was going to turn eventually in that game. I understand it's midterms last week, or it's midterms this week. Back-to-back road games, third game. All those things, again, they sound like excuses, but they were major concerns to me. And I think that played out. And here we are. What are we, 4-2?
5
already?
5-2.
Yeah. We could be 5-3 real soon. And big picture, Freeman, his mantra is question, challenge everything. Well, we're going to do that, buddy. And we're going to start with him. We're going to start with the fact that he couldn't hire a better offensive coordinator for the team. And people say, well, we couldn't shell out the money. We couldn't, money's always a concern. But if you want to be at Notre Dame, it wasn't a problem for Al Golden. Okay? It wasn't a problem for Harry, who is a glaring miss. We miss that guy more than any coach that has left ND in the past 5 years, without a doubt. I have no idea what they were trying to accomplish on the offensive line that night. It showed itself. We knew it was a concern. We knew it was going to be a concern going in, but they added to it by compounding their everything by playing more guys and not settling. Yeah, they wanted more production, but that added oxygen to the flame. And I the preparation was really poor. Say what you want, but you got to go in there. You got to win that game. You got to figure out a way to win that game and stay alive and go to USC. And now here we are. Is Freeman the right guy? We got USC next. Are we gonna be 5-3? The what do we have to play for? There's so many questions, red flags. People want to blame Swarbrick because he didn't shell out enough money to hire an OC. I think those are excuses. Play calling, in-game things, all those things can be second guessed, and Monday morning quarterback by all of us, and it's amateur hour on the offensive side of the ball. We're wasting Sam Hartman and one good year of, like Landen kind of equated it to. It's like solid starting pitching all year long. I see this with the Indians. They have outstanding pitching all year long, and they can't put a run across the plate. But we shouldn't have that issue when we're talking about Notre Dame and Louisville. And I really think, again, the mentality, we folded. They did everything they could to keep us in that game until the light went off, and we were like, we're Notre Dame, we're just going to pound it down your throat, forget about it. And we were like, it was like we were trying to figure out like how we wanted to attack and what we wanted to be and where we wanted to go. And, there was no sense. There was no feel for the game, at least on TV. That's how it manifested itself. And then, just you're not going to win any game committing 5 turnovers. First you throw a turnover on the second play of the game. We're throwing a one-on-one coverage to a really young guy who he probably could have fought a little bit more for the ball. The ball could have been thrown in a little better area. I don't know, but question everything, challenge everything, Freeman. We're certainly going to do that. I'm sure he's doing it. The loss of Harry, that's big to me.
Mm-hmm.
And Freeman, that's the elephant in the room now, because like I said before, let's add it all up. You got the Oregon State meltdown. Yeah, he wasn't the head coach, but he was in charge. And that should have been a glimpse into the future. You got you lose a Marshall at home, unacceptable. And I don't care at any point. You lose to Stanford at home, who should be playing Youngstown State next week. You've lost to now we've lost to a big game, Ohio State. We lost. Yeah, beat Clemson last year, but what did they have? What are they like now? Is that kind of a meaningless game? We lost at USC last year. Who knows how we're going to fare this year? And now we're etching out wins against Duke, and we're looking like that against Louisville, and just the whole, man, the bubble's just been burst in the mentality of the team. And I thought that's where we were going to be stronger going forward, not weaker. And, it's starting to look a lot more like Bob Davie than it is, Lou Holtz, like we all hoped. So I'm really disappointed. I didn't even really care when you wanted to schedule this. I think Landen or Logan and I, we've shared the same concerns. He picked us to lose. I didn't think that was an out of the realm of possibility pick.
Right.
I certainly thought it was going to happen. I was really worried about the situation and our mentality going into this game, and we weren't strong enough to overcome all of what has taken place, which quite frankly should have built us up. But, they're human. They're 18, 19, 20-year-old kids, and they've been on a huge roller coaster ride, and they got to go to school, and they got to eat, and they got to sleep. They got to travel. They got to and from class, and it's not free shoe you and zero state. There's a lot of demands on these kids, and these all sound like excuses, and I don't want to hear them, because every year these Notre Dame kids and the student athletes there face the same issues, and so do the coaches. They should know better when to pour it on and pull back and rest, and I'm sure it's a difficult thing to balance. But right now those are excuses. We're 5-2. We can either lay down on the mat, or we can get up and punch as hard as we can and see how we finish the year out. I saw somebody say, what if we go 10-2 and our 2 losses are to, 2 conference champions? No, dude. No. Now, I think I predicted 10-2.
You did.
But I did. Here we are. So, but I just having Hartman, and maybe he's not who I thought he was. He's got some limitations in the pocket. But we certainly didn't do him any favors. Our front, Joe Alt, he got ran over like he couldn't block a stop sign.
To Louisville.
Blake Fisher. Maris, the face mask. And that was an iffy call. You could have, but they called it. And Notre Dame's always going to have those calls go against them. But, I share the same concerns as Logan. I just didn't think they would have manifested itself in a loss. I really did. I thought that was going to be a really close game. And I thought they opened the door for us, man. Second half, I was like, here we go. And we went backwards. Thank God we kicked a 54-yard field goal. It was like, man. And just, our OC didn't put us in any good positions. It's a coach's job to put your kids in the best positions to succeed. And they certainly did it. and our guys didn't.
Absolutely.
So hats off to Brom.
Absolutely.
I wish he was ROC that night, Logan. You know, I hate to say you were right because you predicted you picked us to lose, and you were right. Nice pick. You gained one on me there.
Yeah, he did. I hate to say he's right because he's my brother, and I hate when my brother's right. But Logan, I'll open the floor up to you this time around and get it all out while you can.
I agree with a lot of JR said. Still disappointed. I didn't think I would take it as hard as I have. Moody all day yesterday. Just frustrated. Just very frustrated to have to watch that for 4 quarters. And you got outcoached. And you just didn't get outcoached. You got outcoached badly. Like, it wasn't even close in every facet of the game. It was unbelievable. I've never seen. I mean, this game for me might have been harder to watch than honestly the Marshall game, just because of what everything that has transpired this year rather than last year.
Absolutely.
To see Sam struggle, to realize he's not Superman, sucks. But your offensive line's awful. Your defensive line is awful. Your wide receivers, take them back. I want a refund.
Where was Greathouse?
Faison played well.
He wasn't healthy.
He was a walk-on.
Yeah. Greathouse wasn't healthy. The one positive I would say was Schrader going 2 for 2, having, 2 pretty good kicks, big kicks. You go up 10-7, and you just can't get it done. You're 3 of 13 on third downs. You have 5 turnovers, 1.6 yards a carry.
Something looks wrong with Estime too. Did you see? I don't know if you taped it. He looked like something's wrong with his motor right now. He was kind of nursing his leg there, walking off the field.
Just like JR said, all the excuses you can make, you can blame it on, the schedule, the midterms, whatever the case may be, but people need to realize you're at Notre Dame. You're at Notre Dame, and I mean, congrats to Louisville. That was a really fun atmosphere. If you're a Louisville fan, obviously sucked for us, but that was a really cool atmosphere. Great win for their program. Like I said all week, big fan of Brom. So, I mean, that's what scared me. And Brom, and I don't know their DC's name, but had a really good game plan. They took us out of our game plan, what we wanted to do. And we had no answer, no adjustments. It's like this coaching staff, is the definition of insanity, just doing the same thing over and over and over again and expecting a different result. And, it's just frustrating to say the least. With the Freeman, is he the guy? Is he the right guy for Notre Dame? Did we rush it? Like, those questions are all valid. Now, I mean, everything's up in the air. Like you said, you can challenge anything you want to as a Notre Dame fan, and it's validated. But you can't. I'm more worried about next weekend with the, just being undisciplined and out of shape. It looked like just tired, just fatigued, and I'm scared for what Caleb Williams is going to do. What the wide receivers are going to do. So, defense is going to be tired. And then, obviously, in order to beat SC, you got to score points, and I don't even think we could score 10 points. So, I'm worried about it. But, trying to move on, trying to think of something positive. But, like JR said, you let, the staff, you let go. You let go Harry. Matt Bayless comes into mind. Like, do we lose this game if Bayless is still in charge of our strength and conditioning? Are our kids, right in shape for this game? Who knows? the Zeke Corral face mask, the Moeris face mask, like you mentioned, the Chris Tyree drop in the end zone. All those things. When you're struggling offensively, 2 out of 3 were huge calls. One of them a touchdown, obviously, and the other one, Mitchell Evans. I think he caught it at the 14-yard line of Louisville. Got taken back. Like, you score that, and you give us a chance. I think that would put us up.
It would have put us up 17-10.
They couldn't take advantage of those spots. They
just not being able to finish. That it's not being able to, get through it. And at one point, it was just like, all right, something's gonna open up, and it just never did. Never did.
I thought it was right after that turnover, and that's to start the second half. I thought, all right, we're gonna punch it in the end zone. We're gonna rattle them, silence the crowd. No, you go backwards on your drive, and you have to settle for a miracle field goal that credits to Spencer Schrader. That was awesome, but field goals
could have made that from
beat.
65.
Yeah, field goals get you beat. Logan ruined a friendship because the guys next to us or behind us, in front of us, sorry, thought that he had another yard on it or something, and they were arguing all game. Logan, it's almost like the way this Notre Dame team is playing, and you of all people would know this. It's almost like an AAU basketball tournament where you play at 8 a.m. on Sunday after you played 4 games on Saturday, and you're just gassed. You have no energy. You have no legs. You have nothing. You have no will, no power, no nothing, Logan. And I think this team is just gassed. And you have a juggernaut in your rival coming to your place this week. That's what scares me the most is it's just we're going in the wrong direction.
There's no leadership, and you can tell there's no accountability from the players. There's no dog, if you will, to hold someone accountable. And Freeman, I don't know if he's the type to get in your face and yell. It doesn't seem to me like he is that type. But maybe at some point, obviously we don't see practice or what happens behind the scenes, so I'm not going to assume.
Mm-hmm.
But, maybe you gotta change up something. You gotta light a fire up someone's ass at some point, and say we're at Notre Dame. We can't go 5-3 heading into the bye week when we're supposed to go 10-2, 11-1. Can't. And that's just the frustration of it all. You have the talent to do it. Recruiting's not an excuse anymore. Saw on Twitter, in every position we had to hire a recruit. So recruiting and a talent standpoint, that's not the issue. This is a pure coaching standpoint and lack of leadership standpoint. And when you have those two problems, you're not going to be successful in whatever sport you're playing. But
that's what's scary about this. Like,
yeah,
we're fugazi.
And how do you fix it in 5 days?
And not only are we fugazi, maybe we're worse off without. I don't want to say without Kelly, but somebody different than Kelly. Like, I don't want to say one way or the other, but it's like the elephant in the room. Is he the right guy? Because that's what I mean. Like fatigue and the situation and the circumstances and the in-game strategy, all of those things put an intense focus on the man that's captaining the ship. And we totally just fell flat, failed. And this isn't like the first time that it's happened either. There's all kinds of examples that you can point to. And this isn't 2 full years, guys. This is like maybe almost a year and 3 quarters.
Yeah. Almost coming up on it. Yeah.
I mean, this is a fairly good sample size for me to say I'm out. I know I think I know what we are with Freeman, and it's not going to be good enough for what the 4 of us, excluding Dylan, and pretty much every Notre Dame fan wants.
Right.
It's not good enough.
Right.
I don't, and I'm the biggest. I'm the one that's been saying, be careful of the situation, and those are all true and what, but at the end of the day, don't matter. You gotta go out there and win the game.
Mm-hmm.
USC found a way to win in triple overtime. Miami, you saw what happened to Miami.
Mm-hmm.
My Lord, they made 10 men on the field look like the prom. So that's don't get me started. I'm gonna pick up my laptop here. I'm gonna throw it across the room because I'm tired of hearing the same stuff, and we're probably gonna hear it today at noon. We got to fix it. It's not good enough.
Then do something about it. Do something. Stop saying it. Do something.
But that's the issue. We don't have the right guy that can pinpoint and execute the right plan and implement it, especially in game, to do something about it. And it's not the first time. You guys, all night long, they kept showing the game. Have you guys seen a replay? I mean, there were a minimum of 7 dudes in the box every single time. I don't know why we didn't go spread them out a little bit more, and we just kept trying to fit a square into a hole all night long, and the guy just refused to adjust. It was like, dude, quit banging your head against the wall and either line up and try and pound it down their throat, or spread them out and forget the run and win the game. But quit trying to figure it out on the fly like you were doing with the offensive line. That does our quarterback no good. I mean, what's next?
So what I was saying, I'm so glad you brought up Brian Kelly, because I want to talk about Brian Kelly real quick. I think if you have Brian Kelly as your head coach in that game, I think Notre Dame wins that ball game. I think Notre Dame wins. You look at Brian Kelly. Hold on. No. You're gonna let me finish. No.
You don't have Sam Hartman. You don't have half the team that's playing right now.
You're just trading one issue for another.
Okay, but let me finish my comment, please. What I was saying is, you look at Brian Kelly's tenure. Brian Kelly was one of the best coaches at making halftime adjustments. You look at Notre Dame in the second half of that football game, we sucked. You look at Notre Dame in the second half of Oklahoma State when we had a 30-point lead, we sucked. Brian Kelly knows how to adjust to big games on the road. You look at 2019 against Louisville on the road. We were down against Louisville on the road. He makes adjustments and we blow him out.
This isn't about Kelly, though. This is about the guy leading Notre Dame, because whether or not Kelly can win that game or not, he's going to trip up somewhere down the line because of the same things that he's complaining about that he left to go to LSU. Now he's just in a tougher spot, and he's, no wizard either. But, we're either stuck with the guy, or we got to go out and hire somebody who we know is going to come in and do it. Were you going to hire Urban Meyer? No, that ain't happening.
Prime.
That ain't happening. So, what are we left with? We're stuck. We're trading one set of problems for another. Yeah, they both kind of get there in the same way, but either way, it's not good enough. There's still questions about both of them. Yeah, it's been 30 years since Lou, but he had the same demands. He had the same schedule issues. We beat Miami in the middle of midterms. That was October 15th. So, the problem, and those things aren't going to change either,
Right. So to get into the game a little bit more, the Irish started off really great. You look at that first drive of the game, we were moving on, and we started on our own 20-yard line. We were moving the field. We had it almost midfield, and then we threw an interception, and then they marched down the field, and then they scored a touchdown, which, okay, they scored a touchdown in their first offensive drive. They pump up the crowd. They were silent after that. Not the crowd, the team. Like they didn't do anything against Notre Dame, the offense. They had 7 points since that first drive up until they kicked a field goal in the third quarter to tie it at 10. I mean, come on. That interception was terrible. I hated that route. I did rewatch it last night. I hated that one-on-one jump up route. Sure, Flores could have turned his back and tried to make an attempt at the ball instead of trying to play defense, but at the end of the day, you cannot run that route with a young freshman in that position. We led 10-7.
He's not a big guy either.
Right. He is not a big guy.
He's not 6'4". You know, that ain't Miles Boykin running down the sideline.
Right. Exactly. We led 10-7 in the third quarter after forcing a fumble on the first play of the second half. You have to score a touchdown there. I'm sorry. You're fired up. You have to score a touchdown right there, man. I mean, come on. You have all the momentum in the world after that. And you go backwards and have to kick a 54-yard field goal. You have to score a touchdown there, especially when you have Sam Hartman as your damn quarterback.
That's the point where somebody takes, like Logan said, somebody takes some leadership. Somebody, grabs the wheel by both hands and says, whether that's Hartman, whether that's Freeman, Parker is who he is. He's a tight end coach that we settled for. So, I'm not gonna. Yeah, he is what he is. He's not good enough. Mm-hmm. But that's what we got. We swung at a couple of the other guys. They didn't want to come. So it's like Allen. He's the guy that hired the offensive coordinator for IU. That's on him. That's on Freeman.
Mm-hmm.
It's on Freeman. That was his decision. That was his selection. Who knows why? Harry was going to leave eventually.
Mm-hmm.
Why'd Bayless leave? Did anybody ever find out why Bayless left?
Abruptly,
with, we know why Reese left. That's anybody in Reese's shoes to go under Saban's tutelage would probably make that decision. He stuck around. What was that?
He almost left for Miami the year before. Tommy wasn't going to be around.
Yeah. So, what's going on? Is Golden going to leave? I mean, I don't know, man. 3rd and 1. Let's run sideways on some fake reverse counter. Like what? It was 2nd and 1, and they took a deep shot. Okay, and then they tried to get cute again. Like, I don't know, man. It was like they were schizophrenic all night. They were schizophrenic because they were getting dictated by Louisville. Louisville dictated the game to us, and Brom, they schooled us, man. They schooled us.
Absolutely. Here's the drive chart for 3rd and downs and the drive chart for the second half. 3rd and 1, you have a false start. It's 3rd and 6, and then you go backwards on that play. 3rd and 3, you do a jet sweep. I mean, Jesus, criminy, what are you doing? 3rd and 1 again, you run straight down the middle and you lose a yard. I mean, that was your offensive line just decided not to block, and Love got hit right as he crossed the line of scrimmage. You lost a yard. So 4th and 1. Second half drive chart. 4 plays, 4 yards, and a field goal. 3 plays and 7 yards. 5 plays, 10 yards. 1 play, 0 yards. Here's another thing that bugged me in the Louisville game. Your kickoff and punt returns. Why are we calling so many fair catches? Catch the ball and run. If you're as fast as Chris Tyree, run the ball, man. I don't get it. Our kick returns too.
That's why I didn't want to go all gung-ho about the special teams. We had a nice job, kicking the ball through the uprights, but there's issues elsewhere. Another reason. What Mason gone? There's another guy, and
we got a lot of issues on special teams. On last week, I think it was Duke, Tyree on the punt. Didn't he dive for a ball that he really didn't need to dive for, and he almost lost the ball?
Yeah, a lot of warts, man, on staff, and then they're starting to show themselves.
They are at the wrong time of the season. We stopped them on third down. That was a huge third down stop. It was 3rd and 10. They only gained 5 yards. Maris Leafau, face mask, away from the ball. He wasn't even around the play, and he got nailed on a face mask call. 15-yard penalty and automatic first down. They go down. They score. Joe Tessitore, I love that call, by the way. I mean, okay, I know it was a great moment for Louisville and that culture and that fan base. He did a great job of noticing that this is a great atmosphere, great win, and a great moment. That call that he made, this place is gonna rock. That was awesome. That's when they ended up scoring that touchdown. My player of the game, Spencer Schrader. Dude nailed 2 field goals.
That's so freaking bad that our flipping kicker is a player of the game.
Yeah, it is. But you got to give it to somebody, and dude nailed 2 50-plus yard field goals. Nailed them. So, player of the game.
He did drill him, man. Kid does have a leg.
Yeah, but next game, we'll probably roll him out there for a 20-yard field goal, and they'll miss it wide left like Cody Parkey.
We got some kickers in the NFL, man.
Yeah.
One of them was a soccer player. I don't know how he didn't end up on our team, on our football team, but whatever.
Then the play of the game, my play of the game at least, the first touchdown to Jordan Faison. I mean, that was.
I'll go with him.
Yeah. Oh, player of the
He
game.
had a good game.
Yeah. That's more realistic. I did that as more of a gag joke for Schrader, just to show how bad of a game it was. Last thing I'll say before we get into week 6 notes and then call it a day here. Now you're in a horrible spot right now. USC this week at home and Clemson at Clemson in a few weeks is your last shot to really get in a New Year's Six Bowl. You have to win both of those games. If you drop one of them, you're done. I mean, I think you lose 3 games. I don't know. You're in a horrible spot right now. See, Logan was right. If you beat Ohio State, you can afford to drop one of these games. Now you don't. Now you put yourself in a position to fail after Ohio State.
No, you can't afford to lose any of them. No. It would have been you can't beat Ohio State and lose to Duke or Louisville. Then you're still Fugazi. You gotta run the table, man. If you're gonna lose, it's gotta be Ohio State with some goofy circumstance that you can write off as some, but you gotta.
I got you, Logan. I got you. Go ahead.
All right. So just listening, didn't want to interrupt you guys. It's kind of taking it a step back and really analyzing Freeman, okay, and what he's done. Okay, he's recruited a lot better than BK has. He's made Notre Dame attractive in a way that, hasn't been portrayed. I don't necessarily – unfortunately, he's our head coach, so all the blame goes to him. Or not, unfortunately, he's our head coach. Unfortunately, all the blame has to go on him. All right. Here is the one positive that, you guys were just talking about it and just wanted to – it got brought up to my attention that, if you remember, you go to Ohio State, your first actual game, I don't really count the bowl games, whatever. Okay, first game, you're 0-0, you lose by 11, you're beating Ohio State at halftime, lose the game. Go to Marshall, let down, get beat by 5. Then you go and win 3 in a row, Stanford, lose by 2. After that point, though, here, and mind you, the positions he's been in hasn't been great. Now, Kelly left the program in a good spot, but the quarterback situation last year was not very good. The wide receivers that we had weren't very good. We're lucky we had Michael Mayer that season. We're lucky, in my opinion, to get 6 wins. He had Harry Easton, which helped. Okay, he still had Golden, who you guys know I've been a really big fan of. He had Brian Mason. He had Bayless. At some point, do you think all those guys are leaving because it's Freeman or because they're going to the next step. Is Notre Dame just a stepping stone to getting, to a higher level? Like, and that's what I'm asking. Like, JR, you made a good point. Like, who are you going to go get that when you lose a game? Because realistically, Notre Dame is, has the expectations to contend and compete for a national championship every year. You lose a game, all hell breaks loose, which it's fine. You're Notre Dame. But, I look back and I look at, what BK did early on in his career, struggled. Okay, and then 2012, year 3, national championship. Lou Holtz, I want to say, did they win it his third year?
Yes.
JR?
Yes.
Yeah. I'm not going to say get rid of him now because, I was talking to Landen Saturday night trying to comprehend everything. I want to see a team that Freeman has and a staff that he has that's able to help him look better. Because right now, when it looks really bad, when you don't put 11 guys on the field, when you bring in a quarterback who's going to end up one of the all-time leading passers in college football history, and you lose 2 games even before your freaking bye week, that's a problem. When you have the best rusher, money jar. When you have the best, one of the best running backs in the college football, and you rush for 1.6 yards. You have 4 4-star wide receivers. 4 4-star wide receivers. You have 298 total yards. That's my issue. But, going back to my point, that season last year, he finished 9-4, and I'm telling you, it could have been a hell of a lot worse, as you guys, I think, would agree. He had those boys ready to go against Clemson. Yeah, beat the brakes off of Clemson. So I want to pump the brakes, and mind you, I'm not going to say it and say my points right, because we could be sitting here, break next week and being like, okay, he's not the guy. You're going to find out not only a lot about the kids we have and the athletes we have, but we're going to find out who Freeman really is, because if he's able to get these guys back on track, that's what makes me excited. If we go 10-2 or even 9-3, I don't think that's just a wash or time. I really don't. So that's where I'm at. I want to see us beat SC. If we beat SC and don't win another game all year, I think I'll be okay with it. But
whoa, what?
Caleb Williams and just the FND on the finger. Just
I hate you. We all hate you.
But you're okay with just beating USC and not winning another game?
That's fine. Our doozy can have a win against us. If we beat SC and Lincoln Riley, I'll be okay. I'll cheer for Oklahoma and Venables the rest of the year.
Can't stand our doozy.
Some sarcasm there. Some sarcasm. Yeah, I think you beat SC. That is really big. That's something good that you can put on your freaking resume, and it makes this whole situation a lot better. Do we forget about what happened against Ohio State? No. Do we forget about what happened, a couple of days ago in Louisville? No. But if you're able to get those kids to respond at the end of this stretch, after it's a stretch that has been emotionally draining, physically draining, your defense has wound down, your offense looks like a complete freaking joke. What is that?
That's Coach Knight.
It's Bobby Knight.
Don't worry, Coach. I'll get my say in here in a minute.
Yeah. If you're able,
I hear you, Coach. I hear you.
If you're able to beat SC, it looks a lot better. You get to your bye week and hopefully get rested. And then it's Clemson right after that, correct?
After Pitt.
You get Pitt at home. So the joke about beating SC and not winning again, that was a joke.
It was a rivalry joke. It was like Indiana.
It's like saying, I'm cool with the Browns beating Pittsburgh twice every year. We lose every game.
I'm cool with the Hoosiers beating Purdue every year.
So if I may.
Yes.
Yes,
I'm fine with giving him the rest of the year and seeing what 10-2 looks like. I predicted 10-2, so if that's what we finish, then I'm right on. But right now we're 5-2, and we've lost the way that we have lost, and I can't overlook that. In pairing that up with what has also transpired before with those losses. So I have a little bit of, information and things that I can work with.
You're going to
So
Trump.
here's my problem. If let's say we go 11-2, we win a bowl game, we're 11-2, but we've lost to Louisville, and the way we lost to Ohio State all the way back in September and October, I think I'd probably be stabilized, and I'd agree with you. But let's say we beat USC, but we go 8-4, 9-3. Like, there's part of me, and here we go, you guys.
Is 9-3 not good enough for you this year after what?
No, it's not. Not after the way we started and seeing Hartman. No, that would be a major disappointment for me. Like, if we go 9-3 and our losses are to Ohio State, how we lost to Louisville, and let's say Clemson or USC, that's a pretty clear indication of knowing what I know. And that's going to be not good enough. So that brings me to right now. What is best for Notre Dame this week? Is it more exposure to, like, I don't want to say, I don't want to lose. I don't want to lose any game.
Right.
But I still haven't seen a Browns championship. I'm going on 50, you guys. I want to see another Notre Dame championship. And we should be a lot closer right now than the Browns have ever been since I've been 12 years old. So, 9-3, I don't know, man. 8-4, like, no. But also, like, oh God, I can't even believe we're having this discussion after 7 games. Like, this is not a good sign, you guys. Like, we know what we are. We know what we know.
Right.
I can tell you right now, he's not the guy. I can tell you that right now with pretty good confidence. I'm out on Freeman. I don't think we're going to win a national championship with him. And Lou Holtz, Lou Holtz's third year. Lou Holtz's third year at Notre Dame is way different than Marcus Freeman's third year at Notre Dame, being the first coaching position that he has ever held. Lou Holtz, remember, like last week we were talking about Virginia and William and Mary. That's where Lou Holtz got his start. He went from William and Mary to Arkansas to NC State to Minnesota, then to Notre Dame. When he got to Notre Dame, he was a well-seasoned head coach. I mean, you didn't have no rookie in there, man. You had a bona fide leader who had been through the wars and had all kind of tutelage under a litany of other coaches, Jimmy Johnson and all these different, Howard Schnellenberger and Bo and Woody. He had those foundations underneath him. Freeman was like, here you go, dude. Good luck. Here you go, man. Run with it. And I wished him the best, and he does a lot of good, but in the end, Weiss, he was a pretty good recruiter too. Jimmy Clausen, I mean, we had all kinds of talent and skill under Weiss. Weiss was never a head coach before in college or pro. And, Ty Willingham, Bob Davie. I don't know, man. I just don't know. Your mom, she's a smart woman. She knows. Notre Dame ain't no place for a rookie head coach.
Yeah.
But 2 questions for you. One isn't argumentative. Your prediction was 10-2. Who are the 2 losses? I'm curious.
I didn't. That's my point. If they were to say Ohio State and at Clemson in a well-coached game, I'd be okay. But right now I'm 5-2, and we lost the way that we lost to Ohio State at home. You got Ohio State. They're no world beaters this year, man. They didn't have C.J. Stroud running shotgun back there. They were a beatable team.
I agree. He gone.
Ain't no question we should have won that game. Oregon State, yeah, we came out gangbusters, and nobody wants to pin that on him. But Sorry, that you were captain of the ship for that game too. That's just more information that I have at my disposal to come up with the conclusion and the opinion that I have. I've seen this play out before, and I like the guy, but he's not ready right now, and it's watch out, man. Watch out, because it could go off the train. The train can go off the track really, really fast here.
So if he goes 10-2,
these are big ifs.
yeah. I'm just asking hypothetically here. You're saying you're getting rid of him. He goes 10-2, 10-3.
No. I'm not getting rid of him.
What if he goes 9-4? Or me personally, I'm still gonna have him indicted as not being the guy. Not this year. 9-4. So that will make him what in 2 years? 18-8. Because we were 9-4 last year, with arguably a top 10 recruiting class this year.
I mean, listen. I'm not gonna listen. I'm living in my world where if I had my druthers and I had my decisions and choices to make, I would. We're not getting rid of him. I mean, he's not going to get fired.
Right.
Well, I shouldn't say that.
There's no shot.
I shouldn't say that. I shouldn't say he's not going to get fired, because we live in a crazy world right now, you guys. We live in a crazy world right now. And, I remember 2 years ago, we were having these same discussions about BK leaving, go somewhere else. And, 3 weeks later, we're having an emergency podcast. I'm never going to say never.
Mm-hmm.
Because if we don't win, you think he survives if we don't win another game? That's just as possible as winning out. They're the same hypothetical question. Is that good enough for you? Is that acceptable to you?
I think what's acceptable.
You would know, though, wouldn't you?
Huh?
You would know, wouldn't you? You would. You'd have your answer. So what does that? So that's my problem. That brings us to USC. What's USC look like?
If he beats Lincoln Riley after this, at the end of this stretch, and it's a home game, whatever, he beats Lincoln Riley, which I thought Freeman did a hell of a job coaching against him last year when we had to go to California and play with frickin' Drew Pine. I think if he beats Lincoln Riley, top 5 coach in the country, top 10, whatever, that's a notable win. That's not just like that's another notch in the belt. We're still 6-2. And I said it, and Notre Dame has made its mistakes. That's why I'm not putting on Freeman completely 100%. Freeman should go when you are at Notre Dame and you are the head football coach, you should have blank checks ready to give it to any of your assistants that you want to build the staff that you want.
Yeah.
My opinion. You can do it anywhere else. Ohio State, Michigan, anywhere. Tom Allen got that guy paid, and that's the highest assistant that's ever been paid at Indiana University in forever. So you're telling me Tom Allen can go get the guy he wants, but Notre Dame can't?
But it's not that Notre Dame can't. They won't, and they never have. So
you're as good as I do. You're only as good as your assistant coaches.
Sure. And this goes back to your, each coach leaving. I don't think we can all lump them into one specific group or reason, because we don't know why Bayless left. For all we know, Harry could be sick, and Bayless could be. We don't know. We know why Tommy left. I think the three of us would have left probably too. Well, maybe not. But I don't know. Here, this is the thing. What does USC look like? Okay, we beat at USC and we go 9-3. Yay. Okay, we'll keep going. We'll keep chugging along. How much time are you willing to give? So you don't. I guess we're at different points. I know. And maybe I really don't know. And let's say we win I could say we win a national championship this year. We're probably not going to win a national championship next year. And I can't look too far ahead. I'm doubtful we're going to win one after that either. And not that I need it right this year, but we had Ohio State at home, down year. Duke, Louisville, certainly no, world beaters there. We got USC at home at night. Clemson is down. I mean, like this was everything was right there, and then we mismanaged it away. We didn't lose. We mismanaged it away, and not only the Ohio State game. You saw what Louisville looked like. It's not that we just played bad. We were so what if we lose 3 of these 4? Is 2-2? It's going 2-2 good enough? No. 3-1 would have been good enough, not 2-2.
At the same time, I don't think you can be like you can. Your opinion matters, but it's like saying like, okay, F that guy. We're in year 2, and his first year was a shit show all around. And like you said, they literally said, "Here, Marcus, there you go. Good luck." Okay, like so to go 9-4, and just to kind of do that, your first game, excluding the Oklahoma State game, you go and you play Ohio State and Columbus. Your first game as a Notre Dame head coach. Your first game as a head coach ever. And you go and you're beating them at halftime with Tyler Buchner.
And you lost that game too, just like you lost the Oregon State game.
So then you move on, and then you lose to Marshall.
Okay, and then we lost that game to a lesser opponent.
Yep.
To another first-time coach.
Yep. You can't lose to Marshall. You can't lose to Stanford. Okay, those are his 2 losses that I'm like, wow, that can't happen. Okay,
I don't
like that's where like you could throw Ohio State at like some of his losses. He has brought. It is fun being a Notre Dame fan. Right now, it's not. It sucks, but he's bringing in his guys when it comes to players. He's recruiting at a level that I have never seen Notre Dame have. And, I think, with what he's got to go and do a job. He's got to develop 2. We got to develop our staff, develop our guys, but he's got to develop 2 as a head coach. And I think he's going to be able to do that. Now, am I going to say, hey, it's going to be the end of this year? This year is the end all be all for you. Is it going to be next year? No. I think here, year 4 for me, and hopefully we're still having this conversation, God willing, that we find out what we really have. Because I don't think, like you said, Notre Dame's not going to fire him in 2 or 3 years. I just don't see it. They gave Weiss, 7?
6,
5.
Listen, yeah. I love the man. I think he's an excellent representative of the university. He carries the team incredibly well.
And he takes accountability.
He's a seemingly a wonderful father and husband and great ambassador for the school and the sport and all of that. And I want him to succeed. It's just that from what I've seen and the things that have taken place, I have more questions than I do answers at this point, and it's quickly trending in the wrong fashion. When I saw Lou's very first game, and I remembered every single detail of every single Notre Dame game when I was that age during those times. When Notre Dame lost, it didn't look like it looked the other night. A Lou Holtz team, and yeah, this is a long time ago, and it's, Lou was a long time ago, but like good coach teams, they don't make the mistakes and they don't get out. They might get outplayed time to time, but they don't get out coached and out. They don't get out prepared, do they, Coach Knight? It's again, like I go back to the mentality part of coming into this atmosphere in this game. And maybe that game, I just said I have more questions than answers, but maybe that game provided me with a very key answer that maybe I didn't want to face after the Ohio State game. And I brushed it off as just being a rookie head coach. But how many times a young coach that has to learn on the job, but how many times are we going to keep saying that, especially against lesser opponents? In every situation at Notre Dame is going to be difficult. Like we said, whether it's the week or the demands of school or the schedule or the travel. And I really don't give a shit anymore. I want to win all of these games because I'm sick of losing to Ohio State. I'm sick of losing to USC. I'm sick of being laughed at like, oh, same old Notre Dame. We're 5-2 now. And odds are we're probably going to lose again at least once.
So
and I'm not okay with that. I'm not.
I agree. So let me ask you both this. What do you think we finish up? Sitting at 5-2 on Monday, knowing that you have USC Saturday at home, bye week after that. Where do you think we finish
Regular
up?
season?
Regular season.
I know my answer if you want me to go first, JR.
Go ahead.
8-4.
Oh, God. Losing to who?
I think we draw. I think we play USC close. I don't think we get our tails kicked at home. I think we get ran at Clemson.
So that leaves Pitt, Wake Forest, Stanford.
Yes, Pitt is down. Wake Forest is down. Stanford, I think they've won one game.
Stanford's at Stanford. Pitt and Wake are at home.
Correct.
Yeah, Pitt's got all kind of issues.
Including their
Dracovich's going to
coach.
tight end. He's going to tight end.
Including their coach.
I'm more in agreement with Landen at 8-4. I hope 9-3. I'll say this: I'm doubtful at 10-2. I'm hopeful at 9-3. I'm pretty sure 8-4. We look like an 8-4 football team now, and all those opportunities that we missed. That's what bad teams find a way to do. You're presented, good teams in baseball. You're given extra outs, errors on the field. Good teams take advantage of those. They score runs.
Right.
You hit sack flies, you move runners, all those things. We don't do any of that. We make penalties, we miss tackles, we make boneheaded play calls. Our special teams unit have all kind of dents in it. That's another sign of a really, really well-coached team, is how well your special teams play as a whole. All of the units, not just your kicking unit, your coverage unit, your return units. And no. Lou Holtz, well-coached Notre Dame team, always had stout special teams all the way around. Well-coached teams are physical, smarter, tougher, more clutch. We're none of those. We don't have any of those traits. No, we don't have any. You can't finish. We can't consistently finish. I don't want to say we can't finish. We can't consistently finish. And that consistency that Freeman keeps talking about, we go consistent. You're going to hear that word out of his mouth so many times today at that press conference. Consistency. Mark it right now. We're going to turn that into the Monday night drinking game. Consistency. That's the word of the week. Okay? I'm calling it right now. The word of the week, consistency. But
he's going to take accountability today. That's what's refreshing.
Great. That's the easy thing to do. I mean, he has to.
Oh, not when we had the asshole before it. Oh, it's your fault. Guys, this is on me. I love that about him. saying like, you know what, because at the end of the day, he's the head coach. He's got to, right? But there are so many underlying issues that I think we don't know about that he takes accountability for. He could be a BK and be like, oh, we just have a lot of youth. We got no one else coming through the door. This is what we got. We're going.
Listen, that's all part of why I like the guy and why I root for the guy and why I want him to be the guy. He presents himself, and he's a good representative, and he knows he's smart. He says all the right things.
So you both.
I don't care what you say. I care what you do.
What do you have us going, Logan?
So you both are at 8-4.
Correct, I think.
JR, was that an official 8-4? I said 8-4, 9-3.
I'm gonna go 9-3.
Okay, who do you have us losing to?
Either Clemson or USC. I think we will probably lose to Clemson.
Okay.
What about you?
Need to play optimism. I know I sound effing crazy, but I think we beat USC. I think we get rested. I think we take care of Pittsburgh. And honestly, I don't see the Irish losing at Clemson. I don't. So I have us going 10-2. 10-2. I do think if we do drop one, it would be Clemson.
Mr. Positive for once.
Excuse me, it's not Clemson. I think we beat Clemson no matter what. It would be this weekend. We get beat by SC.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
that will make him 0-2 against USC. That will make him 0-4 against Ohio State and USC. 0-4.
All right, that does it for Louisville and our season predictions and Marcus Freeman discussion.
Hour later.
I love this. Before we move on to end the show this week, or today, we'll be back tomorrow. Week 6. I don't know if you guys saw much of any games this week, but Texas and Oklahoma, what a ball game! Wow, there's no more JR. No more Joklahoma, no more Mobilehoma. They made it Oklahoma for the rest of the season this year. That was a win for Coach Venables and Oklahoma. Oklahoma.
Okay. All right. Good job, Oklahoma. Good job. But you got the rest of the year. And again, I'm pretty confident in knowing what I know about Oklahoma and Brent Venables. We got a long season to go. Everybody pretty confident in saying Oklahoma's going to go undefeated and win the national championship?
No.
Thank you.
I think they go undefeated in the regular season. I think Texas gets them back in the Big 12 championship in Dallas.
I love Gabriel too, man. Man, that kid is such a gamer. I love that guy. He's a gamer.
Why we don't run RPOs is mind-boggling to me.
You guys, I don't know why we weren't in a 3 wide receiver, 1 back set, Hartman in the shotgun from basically the middle of the second quarter on from that game, and just let him be like we didn't even try. No, I would have went hurry up at some point. I would have tried something to jumpstart those guys, and I don't know why either, Landen. I don't know why either.
I had Oklahoma and Texas wide receiver stats down. They combined for 55 catches and 656 yards.
I don't know why either. Because we're schizophrenic. We don't know.
Have that all year.
Right.
We thought we were like this offensive juggernaut, and here we are after 7 games, and we're like, our biggest problem is our offense. Who would have ever thought that?
Looks like
we were concerned about the line, so it all starts there. We were concerned about the line, so that and we still have those questions. What are we going to rotate guys? Keep rotating guards in and out?
Mm-hmm.
What?
Right. This looks like a Drew Pine-led offense, to be honest with you. Not worse, and it just looks.
No, you know what? That goes to Freeman's defense last year. Actually, he was 9-4 with Pine.
Mm-hmm.
And in reality, that's probably what they were. And quite
Absolutely.
frankly, they should have been better than that because they shouldn't have had 2 losses on their schedule. So I can chalk that up to being a rookie head coach last year, but we're no rookies anymore. We're not. All those, we went through all that crap last year, and we've got, the elders. We got Moses playing quarterback.
Yeah.
And he looks like he's more concerned about Just for Men commercials middle of the season than he is about, parting the sea for Notre Dame fans. And Lord knows what's going on in the world right now. Somebody got to part the Red Sea. I mean, my Lord.
Yeah. So Georgia and Michigan, they both had statement wins. I don't know if you guys saw the finals on that score. Whew. Georgia and Michigan, they look good. I mean, they beat the brakes off of Minnesota and Kentucky. I mean, whew. Bama, they won 26-20 with some help from the officials. Jimbo dropped another one. We open the year at Texas A&M next year. Will Jimbo be the head coach for the Aggies next year? That's a big question. He might retire.
He might not. Never say never.
Yeah.
What if Al Golden's your coach next year?
Landen's done. Landen, we won't have no GDR.
No, I like Golden won me over.
Look at me. Look at me. Let me grab this candle and pour a little more gasoline on it.
Yeah.
Woo!
Hey,
I'm stoking the fire.
Listen to me. Golden won my respect this week. He really did. He put his defense in a position to win us the game. I switched roles this week.
What about Sark?
Where's Dylan? Oh, shut up. Shut up. No, we're not having that alcoholic as our head coach. Not happening. UCLA knocks off Washington State. Man, I really had high hopes for this. That's where JR picked up a big win this week in the picks. UCLA knocked off Wazoo. And we kind of talked about it already, but Miami absolutely blows it and loses to Georgia Tech. Knee the ball. What are you doing? This is twice he's done that. He did it at Oregon against Stanford, and they lost in overtime.
I was watching that game live, and I remember that was basically the last time Stanford had a good win.
Exactly.
But isn't it dumbfounding some of the decisions you see all weekend long, and not just in college games, like pro games. I mean, but any given weekend, you saw it Thursday night. Who's the Bears fan? Raise their hand. You ever think that offense was going to look like that?
Nope.
Notre Dame could come out this week. I don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves, but look at USC. I mean, now they're in kind of the same mental state, slip up, they're in a dangerous spot, man. I don't know if I'd want to be them either. I don't know. It's like I said for Duke. I think Duke would have rather have seen us coming off a win against Ohio State. Like Louisville saw us coming off a win against Duke. So we weren't like, we had a completely different mentality. I'm glad we're seeing USC after the situation that USC played themselves out of, because now I think it's more likely that we beat USC and lose to Clemson than it is we lose to USC and beat Clemson, I think.
Another week 6 note to point out is LSU. They won a wild one at Missouri. Missouri absolutely fumbled the bag. They had a 3-touchdown, 2-3 possession lead. I won't say touchdown, but it was a weird game. Missouri went for 2 a couple times, got it, and LSU ends up winning 49-39. So,
what do they finish?
Yeah, they finished exactly.
No. What's their record at the end of the year? LSU.
Right now they are 4-2. They still have Alabama. They still on the road. They have Florida to get through.
Who has a better record at the end of the year? LSU or Notre Dame?
I think we have the same record at 8-4.
Oh, we're going to meet in the bowl game.
College football needs that. You know how much money that would generate
That might save the season for me. That's a good alternative.
if we beat BK in a bowl.
Yeah, have that your way.
Yeah, have it your way, right up here. Yeah. All right, folks, that does it for us today. We are back tomorrow. Dylan Kearns will rejoin us as we preview Notre Dame and USC. And Logan, you just ruined my outro.
We're good. We're good. I'm just kidding with you.
You just ruined my outro. You're fired. Dylan's replacing Logan tomorrow. We'll see you tomorrow, folks.